Hello and welcome back to the Ivy Grove YouTube channel. Today we have something extremely exciting for you. We are going to be interviewing the wonderful Nicole Thalia. Nicole has been a friend of mine for probably 4 years now. I haven't seen her in flipping ages, so it's going to be a really good chance to have a catch up. But Nicole is a member of the renowned Kingdom Choir who sang in front of 2 billion people at Harry and Meghan's wedding quite a few years back now. And with that, she's gone on to tour across the US, the UK, perform with people such as Gladys Knight. But that's not enough for Nicole. Nicole is also one of the main singers who tours with the Grammy nominated drum and bass act High Contrast. And so today I'm going to be interviewing her, getting some behind the scenes, asking her how exactly these opportunities came about. And we'll also be chatting about her brand new release, her single 1992, and how that's come about, what it's about, and what her hopes and aspirations are for the next year. So I hope you're excited. She's amazing. It's going to be really, really good fun. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hello, Nicole. Welcome to the Ivy Grove channel. Thrilled to have you here. Happy release day. This is so exciting.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thrilled to be catching up with you. We're going to talk a little bit more about your release later on. But firstly, I've kind of done a little overview about the fact that you're a member of the Kingdom Choir. You also have toured with High Contrast and things like that. But in a nutshell, can you explain to kind of the viewers like who you are, what you're about, and what you're sort of involved in?
Yeah, so I am as an R&B singer-songwriter and a vocalist, session vocalist. So touring, I tour a lot with different artists, but yeah, my main roles are being a member of the Kingdom Choir, which I sang with at the royal wedding in 2018, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, which is still crazy.
So sick.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to tour with them, America, around the UK. And we sang, I mean, my highlight of the tour was singing with Gladys Knight, because that was a bit crazy, and the Hollywood Bowl. I'm still like trying to digest that. But yeah, other than being Kingdom Choir member, I'm also a lead vocalist for drum and bass DJ High Contrast. Yeah. And I've been touring with him since 2016 now. It's been great, like 4 years have gone like this. And yeah, I just do my thing. I also do my music. So I've been songwriting for the last 2 years, like steady. So obviously first year was a bit like, oh, I need to find out. First single, second year, dropped 2 singles. This year we're coming out with 4 singles and an EP. So
and I heard there may be something Christmassy coming as well.
Yeah, there's another project actually in the works, something I've done last year as well called Give Thanks. And there was a charity project for so all the proceeds went to the Amazon forests. And so this year there's going to be another project with another, I think, around 20 singers involved, and still for charity. But obviously everything's going to be revealed around end of November, I think. Yeah.
That's amazing. That sounds so exciting. So I know Nicole because I reckon it was 4 years ago that I met you. Yeah, we were both in a group called Urban Voices Collective. Yeah. And we've done some cool stuff together as well. I mean, I think the highlight was singing with Demi Lovato. That was mine anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say MTV Awards. Was that 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we met the year before, maybe 2015. I don't remember. That's when you joined, right? Well, yeah. Urban Voices for me has been in 8 years this year. It's crazy. It's been quite a long. Yeah, it's been literally that's the first group I joined the moment I moved here from Italy. So that was like, I moved there in November. March I joined them. So that was literally the first musical experience I've done. But yeah, I think Demi Lovato, that's the first thing I mentioned whenever it's Urban Voices, because it's crazy. Like that was such a good.
I still can't believe it. And honestly, I was an emotional wreck that day. Like, I don't even know how I sang. I was like choking back the tears, like, oh my God, I'm on the stage with Demi. Like, it was amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. So tell us, how the hell did you end up being in the Kingdom Choir? Where did that opportunity come from?
So, well, we actually have that friend in common who was responsible for this was Bim, who also met Bim Amoako, who we met in Urban Voices, and I then started working with her with High Contrast. We started touring together, and one thing led to another. She's one of my best friends today, but that's not the reason why I got there. It's just because
you're so talented.
She managed to. She was privileged to coordinate the choir at the royal wedding. So it was originally 7 of us being called, but Prince Charles wanted a full choir with people coming from different parts of the UK, and so basically 7 of us and the other 6 also were picked initially, and then the director Karen Gibson got called in, who also brought the rest of the 23 members basically. So Kin and Choir on that day wasn't actually the usual formation of Kin and Choir, because 7 of us joined. We actually met Karen the month before. Like, I've never seen Karen until that point. We rehearsed twice, but there was 11 versions of Stand By Me before we actually, the one you heard was the 11th.
Wow.
So there was a lot of work behind the scenes, and that's how it really all came along. But honestly, after the day, we're just like, bye, maybe I'll see you, maybe not, who knows. Like, we didn't think. It's crazy because we knew it was going to have an impact, but we didn't know it was going to have that impact.
It literally blew up, didn't it? Like, I remember I remember how, like, because it was all so top secret, and I know it was quite last minute, wasn't it, all getting it together. And I remember sat there and watching it and going, I've just found out that, like, you and some of my other friends that we've met through Urban Voices were going to be in the choir. And I was like, this is insane. Like, imagine where this could go. And then watching it unfold, then you were like, you on breakfast TV singing a song. Like,
literally, that was the morning, like 2 days. That was like 2 days afterwards. So that day, that we finished, it was like 4 p.m. when we left Windsor, but it was funny enough because I think they've done it on purpose. There was no reception for phones, so I couldn't speak to anyone. I tried to send pictures, nothing went through. So I was like, it's all right. Literally, the moment the coach left Windsor, my phone, I've never seen my phone blowing up that quickly. It literally didn't stop ringing for 20 minutes straight. Ding, 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 constantly. People calling, people answering. If I didn't call, I couldn't answer, obviously, because there's so many people talking on the phone, so it was difficult. But it was crazy. And again, I didn't sleep until, I think that night I went to sleep at like 5. I was kind of like, I was so hyped because I wanted to see what people were saying. I was just like, I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks, but I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm tired, but I just need to see. And then Sunday goes past, and basically Saturday night I get calls from different Italian networks wanting to interview me as well. So Sunday morning I woke up at like 9, went to do like 3 interviews, and each one of these interviews went broadcasted from 5 p.m. to like 10 p.m. every half an hour on the major like TV Italian network. So I've got all of Italy as well messaging me. So it was a bit crazy. But then, I remember I was like sitting in my bed at 1 a.m. I was like, fine, I can go to sleep now. It was great. And I get a message from Bim 5 minutes later saying, 5 a.m., a car is coming to pick you up. We're going to Good Morning Britain. And I was like, oh. I said, yeah, but also there's Good Morning America. And then we need to rehearse for tomorrow, because on the Tuesday, we had to sing at Prince Charles' birthday. So this was all literally back to back. Crazy.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. So that was the beginning. We saw these guys again. I was like, hi, guys. It looks like we're going to have to do a lot more together. And then the Sony contract came along. We signed with Sony.
You released an album. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm literally in Tesco and I'm like, oh, there's the Kingdom Choir album.
Yeah. I was the other day, I was singing, at the co-op, local co-op, and I was singing to the song, but I've when you record a song and you just know it by heart. So I just thought I was listening to my headphones, and I was playing, and I was like, oh, Real Love is actually, for a moment I was like, that was us. It's crazy.
So insane, but what an opportunity. And do you think there's more scope? Like, do you feel like that was it was a choir for a time? Like, you've done your tour, you've done your album. Do you think that's kind of it now? You've kind of enjoyed the ride? Or do you think, is there way more kind of coming in the pipeline? Like, where are you going?
I think the choir itself had to readjust, obviously, because we went from like literally a year of fire. I remember there was like that year in September in 2018, we had for like 3 weeks straight, we had filming, fly, filming, fly, filming. That was like constant. Obviously it's an amazing opportunity, but then obviously that it will naturally die down and become something else. So obviously last year again was busy because we had a UK 5-week tour. Then we had 2 legs in the United States. Some of the group went to Australia. It was actually crazy. So, and to be fair, this year, like past March, April, we were meant to go to US again, first leg. So there was supposed to be something else in New York. And then honestly, like it kept going. So it was something that was still, the April was going to be 5 weeks again. So it was still like long tours. America was really good because as well that they were really good at receiving it. They loved it. So yeah, it's still going. We actually had our first gig yesterday, which is crazy after quarantine.
Did you? Oh, sick.
Yeah.
What was that for?
St. Paul's Cathedral. We can't say what, but it's St. Paul's Cathedral, and it's gonna be on TV. But I'm not allowed to say what it was. Okay. But yeah, that was really good because it's like it just felt like wow, we have a job again.
And hasn't this year just been? I mean, let's not even talk about it. Like,
yeah, because we're gonna go to the intensity.
Oh, it was terrible. But with that in mind, so obviously, I imagine you'd have probably had some stuff lined up with festivals and things as well, maybe with High Contrast. So again, did that job, you mentioned that Bim had kind of put you forward for that as well. Was that something she was involved in and just thought you'd be really good at, or like how did that all begin?
No, High Contrast actually came up. So Bim and I found each other on the email once we got confirmed after the audition. We didn't know we got picked because our friend also Joel, who you know, just told us about the audition. So we sent our demo through. But obviously, you know how it is with auditions. You don't really tell most people. So we had no idea, you know, that she was doing, and she had no idea that I was doing it. So yeah, we just found each other. I saw on the emails like, oh, congratulations, Nicole. This is to let you know that. And then I saw CC Bim, and I was like, is it my Bim? So we started touring together from that, and yeah, that's been a really good ride as well because we've done some incredible things. Went to Glastonbury, did Running a Lead, all the biggest festivals really in the UK. We've been flying a lot as well. This year was gonna be mad because we were meant to fly like every weekend. The whole summer we had a different festival around Europe. So that was literally the biggest lineup because High Contrast last year was nominated for a Grammy as well. So obviously, you know, things are just, you know, like it's upscale. So yeah, this year was going to be crazy, but you know, I hope everything is moved to next year.
I really hope so too. Like it's so hard, especially when you've been, because I know I mean, luckily I feel like you've had some insane moments and I feel like mine are to come. But I know that we're of a very similar kind of approach to it, which is like grafting like crazy. Whatever comes your way, you just do it. And I know that for you, it must have been incredibly frustrating to go, I worked so flipping hard the last few years. And, you know, especially with them getting that Grammy nomination and thinking, wow, like the shows we could be doing are going to be so much bigger this year. And obviously having that disappointment. But I genuinely believe that like, give it, you know, as soon as this is all over and whatever the new normal becomes, like, you'll get
we just need to really, like, at the moment, it's all readapting. My view on the industry at the moment is that I don't think there will be an industry to come back to, which is going to be similar to what it was before. I think it's going to be very different because if anything, I know it can sound like a negative point of view. I don't think it is. I just think you know, just coming to terms with reality. I think that honestly, this has shown us how much actually we don't need so many things that we were using before, which obviously led me to think, I don't know if session singers will be as useful as they were before, because obviously now we've got remote work. A lot of people just adapted like that. I don't know, because of the funding. Honestly, I just don't see the industry going back to what it was before. I just don't. So I feel like it's going to be very different. So I think at the moment, it's hard because obviously a lot of people had to adapt and find new jobs, and because the funding, and has been like, you know, we know the recent news about what non-intentions they have to save the industry are happening. So it's very unsettling, it's very annoying, especially, I mean, for me, you know my history. I came to this country when I was 19. I've done everything on my own, and I worked so hard, finally became full-time, and then, you know, this happens literally. And every day I remember, like, I love this. I don't even love the job, I love music so much that when I wake up, I just felt for so long, I was like, this can't be my job. Like, there must be an end to it, because I can't have this much fun and also work. And then, you know, there was an end to it, but I don't believe it's an end. So we just have to, just shift our mindsets. I've been creating a business during lockdown that's slowly starting, obviously music related, and I'll be sharing that as I've got more, like, you know, actual testimonials, and it's actually working for real. But I just had to be like, you know what, I'm not done with this. Like, this is not, it can't be the end. Like, we've worked so hard, so no.
I'm sure it won't be. Yeah, I think it's totally we're just going to have to adapt, and
just find different ways.
But looking kind of onwards and upwards, you've mentioned that you have been songwriting. This will be going up on a Sunday. Today is Friday the 9th of October. And at midnight, your new single 1992 was dropped, which is killer. It's amazing. If you love R&B, riffs, saxophone, harmonies galore, you're going to freaking love it. It's amazing. So I get the vibes that there's a lot of, like, self-love within this. You say the words, I'm a goddess. Can you tell me about how the lyrics came about and everything?
Yeah, so I consider myself quite awkward. You know, if you look at society standards and how you're supposed to be when it comes to being loud, being outgoing, being always a certain type of person, I've never been that person. And for so long, I remember, like, especially when I came here, it's weird, because when I was in Italy, I was quiet, but people just kind of got to learn. I was like, yeah, Nicole's like that, she's just in her own world. But then, you know me, when I get to people, like, when I get around people who I'm comfortable with, I'm the life of the party. Just that way. If I don't know you, I'm just like, hold on. But I think that's character. Everyone has to be free to be who they are. So at the beginning of the song talks about how sometimes I just don't, like, literally the first thing is, sometimes I just don't want to talk. It doesn't mean that I'm not shy. I'm shy. It doesn't mean that I don't like you. I just literally don't want to talk, and I shouldn't talk if I don't want to. I sometimes just don't want to say more. And it's just like, every time it's like an imposition that, you know, the system and our society has created based on, if you're outgoing and if you're sociable all the time, then it means that you're a positive person. If not, there's something wrong with you. So that was literally the first part. And then there's the chorus. Yes, it's like an anthem. The chorus is more for my girls mainly, but literally for everyone. And I literally said, I remember my boyfriend last night was like, why do you love this song so much? And I felt like I literally said, I wish everyone loved themselves the way I do, in a way, like, I love to be myself, because at the moment I'm like, I actually love the fact that I've never changed, even though I realize that I'm weird or like, but I just accept the fact that it's okay, like, it's fine. Why would I not be like it? I stand out, and like many other people do, not because I'm that special, but you know what I mean, like, I stand out because I'm me. So
you stand out because you're authentic. I think there is so much, you know, especially like with the Instagram plays such a massive role even within the music industry now of as you say, conforming and fitting into a box. And I think the thing with you, and the thing I feel exactly the same. I try and do my own thing, and you sometimes wonder whether that hinders you, but I go, do you know what, I don't care. Like, you've got to be you've got to be authentic. And I think your message, especially to females and especially to women, I think it's such a poignant message for the time that we're in right now. And I think it's brilliant.
For women, for self-love, for self-acceptance. I just feel like it's so important, especially I just found through the quarantine, through this time, through, you know, everything that went through. I think there couldn't be a better time to actually drop this, because we've had this sitting down for since November, I think. The song was basically finished. We took it back in May when I basically came back to the UK, and I started reworking on my stuff. But I just feel like, yeah, it's just so important because people are so quick to. There was something that happened the other day. I listened to, people keep dropping music, right? We all know we've got friends in common as well that keep dropping music. Everyone is amazing, but I just feel like there's this element, even in R&B, because R&B can be daunting. Like we all know, like if you start listening to certain R&B, it all sounds the same.
Yeah,
voices all sound the same. The riffs are all the same, and for a moment, I had some insecurity because I was like, my music doesn't sound like this, but it's R&B. And then I literally messaged my producer and I was like, and that's why we need to put this EP out, because my music doesn't sound anything like that. And it's not because there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually good for me. And I think, hopefully it's going to have a good impact. So that's what, for a moment I had, imposter syndrome is a thing that we all have, especially during this time. Yeah. And I sat down many times thinking my music doesn't sound like certain standards. However, that's probably why I should put it out, because people will need to think that there's a new fresh wave coming. There's people who still want to do new things and they don't care about what the playlist says, because at the moment, so.
I definitely go against the grain. Like there's a reason why it doesn't sound like everyone else, because, and I'm genuinely not just like sat here licking your arse, like it's like your voice is so, I think your tone and everything, what you bring to R&B, it exactly is that. It's a fresh wave. It's a new approach to it. And I don't care whether it doesn't sound like everything else. Like whatever you're doing, it's working and it's great. And I think especially this single, I mean, I think this is like your 5th track now, looking at your Spotify.
Yeah,
I think you've done some collaborations with other people, haven't you, as well, and stuff. But this particular one, I was like, yes, like I really connected to it.
Yeah, I feel like listening to the EP when the EP will drop on the 27th of November, that I'm proud of the EP. I feel like every time I think of it, I smile, but not really because I'm like, oh, I sing so well. It's more because that was literally the evolution of my songwriting in the last year. So on the same EP, you have the very first song I wrote with this producer and the very last song I wrote with him. And you do hear the development. So one of the tracks, I do think that like, yeah, that's cool, but that's not me. However, that I'm attached to that because I'm like, I can see it. That's where I was still trying to find and it's okay. I feel like it's good to put it out because
you can hear the growth.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't, because it's just okay to show people that, some of the tracks are real bangers. I feel, to be fair, I love all of them. But you can definitely hear the evolution. So you will hear, I think, when it's what's been done. So and the reason why the EP is called Apocalypse is called, and the name is taken from my favorite song of the EP, which is the last one we wrote together. So you just hear the evolution, and you hear the fact that everything in that song in that EP is literally me, literally every single song. And there's nothing that you're like, oh, but she did this for clout. You can't, because everything is relatable, and is also something that I wrote from the heart, or something I've seen and something that I've lived myself. So
yeah, that's sick. Right, well, my final question for you is, we have a lot of people who have kind of found the channel from trying to just get inspiration, and maybe are starting out, or maybe they've been on this journey, but with everything that's happened this year, they're like, do you know what, maybe I should just give up. This has been so difficult. What would your words of inspiration for maybe someone starting out, or someone thinking that maybe they'll give up? Like, have you got any words of wisdom or anything?
I just say don't, because you never know who's watching. I felt so many times, I've been singing for 23 years and I'm 28. This is all I know. And I could easily, I mentioned on Facebook recently, I was like, I'm intelligent enough to retrain, find another job, and get done, pack this music thing away, because it's just a hobby, like people call it. But I can't, because I know that if I did that, a lot of people will be like, oh, if Nicole dropped, then I should too. And it's not just me like that. There's so many people. I feel responsible for keeping a wave going. I feel responsible for just inspiring people. I just like inspiring people. I think is the best job you can have. It's not even about the music. It's just about knowing that everyone has a purpose, and if they look at you and you live your life to the fullest, hopefully you'll inspire someone else to do that. So I just, please don't give up. This is not the moment. I know that everything looks like we should, but that's why we shouldn't.
I totally agree.
That's literally that's literally the break. We shouldn't, because that's how it looks like at the moment. So yeah.
Totally agree. Well, thank you so much for giving us a little insight into your world, and hopefully we can get you back on stage, because you're bloody brilliant. And I hope in the next few years our paths will cross again, because obviously I'm up in Liverpool now, and I used to be kind of around London, but maybe one day the paths will cross again and we'll get to do another duet, because we used to
online, and we've got remote now, so you know, we can definitely get something together. But thank you so much for having me. This was lovely.
No worries. Thank you so much. Mwah. Cool. Thanks, Nicole. Well, there we have it. I hope you enjoyed that. Nicole is so wonderful, so talented. Definitely go and check out that new single 1992, available on all platforms, and also the Kingdom Choir and other stuff that they're up to, and High Contrast. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit different having an interview today. On Ivy Grove, we're trying to just create a bit of a community feel. Some covers sometimes involving other musicians, some interviews, some tutorials, things like that. So if you're enjoying it, please, please, please go and tell your friends. We can't grow unless you spread the word for us and help us along on this journey. Subscribe for more content. We upload every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for sticking along till the end. We love you, and have an amazing week. Mwah. Bye.